Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge etc. Jai Hind. Historical events of 30th May. A journey through time of 30th May 2025, Friday. Today's 30th May highlight in history. 1631. Publication of Gazette de France, the first French newspaper. 1635. 30 Years' War. The Peace of Prague is signed. 1642. From this date, all honours granted by Charles I of England are retroactively annulled by Parliament. 1723. Johann Sebastian Bach assumed the office of Thomas Cantor in Leipzig, presenting his first new cantata, Die Elenden Solen Essen, BWV 75, in the St. Nicholas Church on the first Sunday after Trinity. 1796. War of the First Coalition. In the Battle of Borghetto, Napoleon Bonaparte manages to cross the Mincio River against the Austrian army. This crossing forces the Austrians to abandon Lombardy and retreat to the Tyrol, leaving the fortress of Mantua as the sole remaining stronghold in northern Italy. 1806. Future US President Andrew Jackson kills Charles Dickinson in a duel. 1814. The first Treaty of Paris is signed, returning the French frontiers to their 1792 extent and restoring the House of Bourbon to power. 1815. The East Indiaman Erneston is wrecked during a storm at Windhuskrans near Cape Agulhas in present-day South Africa, with the loss of 372 lives. 1834. Minister of Justice Joaquim Antonio de Aguirre issues a law seizing all convents, monasteries, colleges, hospices and any other houses from the Catholic religious orders in Portugal, earning him the nickname of the Friar Killer. 1842. John Francis attempts to murder Queen Victoria as she drives down Constitution Hill in London with Prince Albert. 1845. The fatal Rajak, coming from India, lands in the Gulf of Paria in Trinidad and Tobago, carrying the first Indians to the country. 1854. The Kansas-Nebraska Act becomes law, establishing the US territories of Kansas and Nebraska. 1862. American Civil War. The siege of Corinth ends in a Union victory, with General Henry Halleck capturing the critical rail junction of Corinth, Mississippi, from retreating Confederate forces under General P.G.T. Beauregard. 1866. Bedřich Smetana's comic opera The Battered Bride premiered in Prague. 1868. Decoration Day, the predecessors of the modern Memorial Day, is observed in the United States for the first time after a proclamation by John A. Logan, head of the Grand Army of the Republic, a veterans group. 1876. Ottoman Sultan Abdulaziz is deposed and succeeded by his nephew Murad V. 1876. The secret decree of Ems Ukaz, issued by Russian Tsar Alexander II in the German city of Bad Ems, was aimed at stopping the printing and distribution of Ukrainian language publications in the Russian Empire. 1883. In New York City, 12 people are killed in a stampede on the recently opened Brooklyn Bridge. 1899. Pearl Hart, a female outlaw of the Old West, robs a stagecoach 30 miles southeast of Globe, Arizona. 1911. At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the first Indianapolis 500 ends with Ray Hardeman in his Marmon was becoming the first winner of the 500-mile auto race. 1913. The Treaty of London is signed, ending the First Balkan War. Albania becomes an independent nation. 1914, the new and then the largest Cunard ocean liner RMS Aquitania, 45,647 tons, set sails on her maiden voyage from Liverpool, England to New York City. 1922, the Lincoln Memorial is dedicated in Washington, D.C. 1925, May 13th movement, Shanghai Municipal Police Force shoot and kill 13 protesting workers. 1937, Memorial Day Massacre, Chicago police shoot and kill 10 labor demonstrators. 1941, World War II, Manolis Glazos and Apostolos Santos climb the Athenian Acropolis and tear down the German flag. 1942, World War II, 1000 British bombers launch a 90-minute attack of Cologne, Germany. 1943, the Holocaust, Joseph Mengele becomes chief medical officer of the Zignier Familienlager Romani family camp at Auschwitz concentration camp. 1948, a dike along with flooding Columbia River breaks, obliterating Vanport, Oregon within minutes. 15 people die and tens of thousands are left homeless. 1958, Memorial Day, the remains of two unidentified American servicemen killed in action during World War II and the Korean War respectively are buried at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Arlington National Cemetery. 1959, the Auckland Harbour Bridge crossing the Waitemata Harbour in Auckland, New Zealand is officially opened by Governor General Charles Lytton, 10th Viscount Cobham. 1961, the long-time Dominican dictator Rafael Trujillo is assassinated in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. 1961, Viasa Flight 897 crashes after takeoff from Lisbon Airport, killing 61. 1963, a protest against pro-Catholic discrimination during the Buddhist crisis is held outside South Vietnam's National Assembly, the first open demonstration during the 8-year presidency of Ngo Diem. 1966, former Congolese Prime Minister Evariste Kimba and several other politicians are publicly executed in Kinshasa on the orders of President Joseph Mobutu. 1967, the Nigerian Eastern region declares independence as the Republic of Biafra, sparking a civil war. 1968, Charles de Gaulle reappears publicly after his flight to Baden-Baden, West Germany, and dissolves the French National Assembly by radio appeal. Immediately after, less than 1 million of his supporters march on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. This is the turning point of May 1968 events in France. 1971, Mariner program. Mariner 9 is launched to map 70% of the surface and to study temporal changes in the atmosphere and surface of Mars. 1972, the Angry Brigade goes on trial over a series of 25 bombings throughout the United Kingdom. 1972, in Ben Gurion Airport, at the time Lord Airport, Israel, members of the Japanese Red Army carry out the Lord Airport massacre, killing 24 people and injuring 78 others. 1974, the Airbus A300 passenger aircraft first enters service. 1975, European Space Agency is established. 1979, Down East Flight 46 crashes on approach to Knox County Regional Airport in Rockland, Maine, killing 17. 1982, Cold War, Spain joins NATO. 1989, Tiananmen Square protests of 1989. The 10-meter-high Goddess of Democracy statue is unveiled in Tiananmen Square by student demonstrators. 1990, Croatian parliament is constituted after the first free multi-party elections, today celebrated as the National Day of Croatia. 1998, the 6.5 megawatt Afghanistan earthquake shook the Takhar province of northern Afghanistan with a maximum Mercalli intensity of 7, very strong, killing around 4,000 to 4,500. 1998 nuclear testing. Pakistan conducts an underground test in the Kharan desert. It is reported to be a plutonium device with yield of 20 kt TNT equivalent. 2003 Dipain massacre. At least 70 people associated with the National League for Democracy are killed by government-sponsored mob in Burma. Aung San Suu Kyi flees the scene but is arrested soon afterwards. 2008 Convention on Cluster Munitions is adopted. 2008 TSCF Flight 390 overshoots the runway at Tongkontin International Airport in Tegucigalpa, Honduras and crashes killing 5 people. 2012 former Liberian President Charles Taylor is sentenced to 50 years in prison for his role in atrocities committed during the Sierra Leone Civil War. 2013 Nigeria passes a law banning same-sex marriage. 2020 the Crew Dragon Demo 2 launches from the Kennedy Space Center, becoming the first crewed orbital spacecraft to launch from the United States since 2011 and the first commercial flight to the International Space Station. 2024 Donald Trump is convicted of falsifying business records in his New York trial, the first time a former president of the United States has been found guilty in a criminal case. Thank you very much for your patience. Request for like, subscribe and share.